I want to ask you about, I know your position on same-sex marriage, so I think that's fairly clear. You're opposed to it. But I'd like to ask you more in terms of science, recognizing gay and lesbian people as regular human beings. Do you support workplace discrimination rules to ban workplace discrimination against gay and lesbian people, transgender people? It's a national effort right now.
Well, I would put it this way. I think that every human being, every Virginian, has the right to work, has the right to live, has the right to be able to find housing. Not that government must obviously provide housing, but ought to be able to find housing and find a place to live. These are fundamental things that every single human being, in my view, is entitled to. There should be no discrimination against people for those purposes. Here is what I have a problem with. I think that there has been an attempt to try to equate homosexuality with being black or being American, an American of African descent. And that you cannot equate the two, because one is an immutable outward characteristic which allows discrimination upon the mere visual inspection of a person, seeing them. The other is a matter of behavior. And where behavior is involved, then people have to make judgments about how they feel about that behavior, what they think the nature of that behavior and its impact is on themselves and their families. And so it gets to be a lot more complicated than saying, well, I'm not renting an apartment to you because you're black. Well, what's that got to do with anything?
Well, what does being a gay person have to do with that?
Look, it depends upon the circumstance, doesn't it? I mean, if you've got a two-family home and somebody wants to rent to you and you happen to be a Christian who believes or Muslim who believes that homosexuality is not right or good, and then the question is, should government force you to rent to that person or not? If you own a bakery, as happened out in Seattle, and you bake cakes for people, and a couple comes in and says, look, we're a homosexual couple, we're getting married, we want you to bake a wedding cake for us. See, that's behavior. Now, do you force that bakery, as happened in Seattle? Do you force them? Now, you've got to bake this cake for this gay couple. We don't care what you think. Or do you allow them the freedom to say, you know, look, I'll bake a birthday cake for you, I'll bake any other kind of cake, but my own convictions prevent me from doing what you've asked me to do. See, that's very different than a black person walking to the bakery and saying, will you bake me a cake? And the person saying, no, I'm not going to bake your cake because you're black.
So, okay, that's a long, let me ask